وطن عشق تو افتخارم، وطن در رهت جان نثارم.
وطن عشق تو افتخارم، وطن در رهت جان نثارم.
وطن خاک پاکت بهشتم، وطن گلخنت لاله زارم.
وطن خاک پاکت بهشتم، وطن گلخنت لاله زارم.
وطن عشق تو افتخارم، وطن در رهت جان نثارم. وطن عشق تو افتخارم، وطن در رهت جان نثارم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. بینندگان جلیل القدر، با برنامه ستاره تیوی خوش آمدین. امیدوار هستم به هر کجای دنیا که زندگی دارید به صحت و سلامت باشین. لبهایتان بخنده و قلبهایتان را شاد می خواهم. با همین آرزو ما فوزیا آریان و ستاره آریان برنامه ستاره تیوی را از چینل 31 ملبورن استرالیا برای شما عزیزان پخش می نماییم. بینندگان عزیز، با ماه مبارک رمضان قرار داریم. روزه یکی از اساسات مهم دین اسلام است که از طرف خداوند به تمام مسلمانان جهان فرض گردانیده شده است و خداوند روزه را بالای هر فرد مسلمان فرض گردانیده شده که مردم مسلمان که سالم باشه و بالغ باشند میتونن که در هر سال که یک بار روزه میآید روزه بگیرند. البته روزه گرفتن از خود شرایط داره که باید ما به این شرایط زیاد توجه نماییم. دوستان ما از ما سوالات کردن، از طریق ایمیل، فیسبوک سوالات دارن که ما تا جایی که امکان داره این سوالات برشان پاسخ بدهیم. گرچه میفهمیم دوستای عزیز که شما در قسمت ماه مبارک رمضان و دین اسلام زیاد معلومات دارین، اما ما تا جایی که امکاناتش باشه کم و بیش با او عزیزانی که از ما سوالات داشتن با پاسخ ارائه می داریم. و امروز ما و ستاره جان میخوایم درباره روزه کمی صحبت کنیم و ای شما و ای هم برنامه ستاره تیوی.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak to all our families, friends and Muslims all around the world. As you know, Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar and it also the month of fasting for all Muslims around the world. Fasting, of course, as you know, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The other pillars are, first of all, confession of faith, prayer, zakah, and going to Hajj. So on today's program, we'll be having a discussion about Ramadan. Of course, we're in the month now and we're enjoying it so much. We've had a few emails sent to us regarding Ramadan. So on today's program, we'll be discussing that. If you have any questions, you're most welcome to email us on the email address on your screen. As you're well aware, in the Quran, Ramadan has been mentioned in chapter 2, ayah 185. The month of Ramadan is that in which was revealed the Quran, a guidance for the people and clear proofs of guidance and criterion. So whoever sights the new moon of the month, let him fast it, and whoever is ill or on a journey, then an equal number of other days. Allah intends for you ease and does not intend for you hardship and wants for you to complete the period and to glorify Allah for that too which He has guided you, and perhaps you will be grateful. It also states in chapter 2, ayah 183 that, O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you, that you may become righteous. Fasting for a limited number of days. So whoever among you is ill or on a journey during them, and then an equal number of days are to be made up. And upon those who are able to fast but with hardship, a ransom as a substitute of feeding a poor person each day. And whoever volunteers excess, it is better for him. But to fast is best for you, if you only knew. In the hadith by Sahih al-Bukhari, it is mentioned that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that when Ramadan starts, the gates of heaven are open and the gates of hell are closed and the devils are chained. And also the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that whoever fasts during the month of Ramadan out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's reward, then all his past sins will be forgiven.
خب دوستای عزیز، حال میپردازیم به پاسخ سوالاتی که بیننده های ما از ما کردن درباره ماه مبارک رمضان، که ماه مبارک رمضان یک ماه مبارک است. و حال ما این سوال از ستاره جان میکنم که ستاره جان، مسلمانان جهان چه قسم بفهمند که ماه مبارک رمضان شروع شده؟
So basically the traditional method, which has been mentioned in the Quran and also followed by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is when they sight the crescent moon, which means the beginning of a new month and also the beginning of Ramadan.
بسیار خوب. سوال دیگه این است که چرا مسلمانان جهان روزه میگیرند؟
So the reason people fast is because it is one of the main pillars of Islam, and also it is to get closer to Allah, of course. According to the Quran, fasting has been prescribed to you and to those before you so that you may learn self-restraint. And what other questions do we have?
بیننده های عزیز، حالا میخوایم بدانیم که ماه مبارک رمضان چی فایده هایی داره، که از ستاره جان خواهش میکنم که فایده های ماه مبارک رمضان به شما دوستا بیان کنه. خوب ستاره جان، شما پاسخ بتین؟
Yes, as I mentioned before, one of the main important things is that we get to go closer to Allah, we get to read the Quran, we get to pray more, and that's the main benefit of it. And secondly, it has a lot of health benefits, psychological benefits, and we get to build upon our character and to become a better person, improve ourselves day by day. And that's what we should be working towards as a Muslim.
گرفتن روزه فایده های زیاده داره. حال بیایید بدانیم که ماه مبارک رمضان، وقتی که ما در ماه مبارک رمضان ما روزه میگیریم، چی میآموزیم؟ مسلمانان جهان، کسی که یک شخصی که بالغ است، سالم است، چی چیزایی از ماه مبارک رمضان میآموزه؟
Yeah, so basically in a normal day of a Ramadan fasting day, Muslims abstain from drinking, eating, smoking, and any other activities which we're not supposed to do anyway as Muslims. So we get to stop from that. And it also educates us to become closer to Allah and also gain patience as well, you know, because we can, if we can gain this patience during this month, we can do that throughout the whole year and improve ourselves, as we said before. So it is also an opportunity for us to seek forgiveness and ask for assistance and direction in everyday troubles which we have, and also is an opportunity to cleanse our souls and learn self-control, which is so important.
ما باید بدانیم که چرا ماه مبارک رمضان بسیار ارزش زیاد داره، یا البته بسیار برای مسلمانان مهم است. این سوال ستاره جان شما پاسخ بدید.
Okay, so we Muslims believe that Ramadan is so special and so unique because it was during this month that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, began to get revelations of the Quran. Yep, so the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, started to get revelation of the Quran when he was at the age of 40, and it continued on for the next 23 years of his life. So the first revelation came on the last 10 days of Ramadan, which is also known as Laylat al-Qadr, or also the night of decree. So the Quran mentions about Laylat al-Qadr, or the night power, in chapter 97, and it states that Surah al-Qadr, indeed we send the Quran down during the night of decree. And what can make you know what is the night of decree? The night of decree is better than 1,000 months. The angels and the Spirit descend therein by permission of their Lord for every matter. Peace it is until the emergence of dawn.
شرایطی که باید در 10 روز اخیر ماه مبارک رمضان صورت گیرد، دوستای عزیز بیایید بدانیم و حال ستاره جان پاسخ بگو.
Okay, so basically in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, we should be in solid devotion, we should be reading the Quran, we should be going to the mosque, and if possible we can do itikaf as well, and trying to understand the Quran and understand its messages.
البته باید بدانیم که هدف از گرفتن روزه در ماه مبارک رمضان چیست؟
Okay, so basically the main reason behind Ramadan or fasting is not to make us hungry or feel bad or make us thirsty, or it's not a punishment. Basically it's being able to understand Allah's message, be able to get closer to Allah, be able to have self-control, have self-restraint, and to build upon yourself as a human being. And during fasting you don't have to announce that you're fasting, it's just between you and Allah, and that's all that matters.
باید بدانیم که ایام روزه گرفتن در کدام وقتها صورت میگیره و همچنان باید بدانیم که در ایامی که یا در یک روز که ما روزه میگیریم کدام نیت گفته میشه در وقت گرفتن روزه و افطار روزه. ستاره جان شما پاسخ بگوین.
Yeah, so basically we fast from dawn until sunset, and we abstain from food, drinks, any marital relations is not allowed, and basically you have to do the niyyah on the night before. Otherwise, if you continue your fast the next day without a niyyah, it's not going to be valid for you. When beginning the fast,
وبصوم غد نويت من شر رمضان.
and when breaking the fast, ذهب الظمأ وبطلت العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله.
اللهم إني لك صمت وبك آمنت وعلى رزقك افطرت. حال میخوایم بدانیم که چی کسانی میتونن روزه بگیرن.
Ramadan and fasting is compulsory on everyone who's physically and mentally healthy and mature.
حال باید بدانیم که چی کسانی روزه گرفتن نمیتونن.
Those that are exempt from fasting is the sick, those that are very elderly, the pregnant women, those that are breastfeeding, menstruating women, and those that are traveling. But of course, once they recover from these things, they have to make up the missed days after Ramadan.
آیا ماه مبارک رمضان در فصلهای مختلف صورت میگیره و یا ای که در یک فصل در هر سال گرفته میشه؟
Well, Ramadan is a lunar month, so it goes by the sighting of the moon, and it falls earlier by 11 days each year. And we get to experience Ramadan in summer, winter, spring, autumn. So we're not all doing it in summer every year, we're not doing it all in winter. So it just varies every year.
خب دوستای عزیز، ماه مبارک رمضان تنهایی نیست که ما نخوریم و یا ننوشیم. ماه مبارک رمضان فعالیت‌های خوبی‌های دیگر هم داره که ما می‌خوایم که این خوبی‌ها و فعالیت‌ها را بدانیم که زیادتر کارهایی بکنیم که با خداوند نزدیک و نزدیکتر شویم و فایده ما به مردم زیادتر برسه. و حال ما می‌خوایم که ستاره جان شما در این باره زیادتر معلومات بدین که چی باید کرد.
Okay, so first of all, the most important things which we should be doing throughout the year anyway is to making sure that we do our prayers on time and reading the Quran, of course, breaking the fast with fellow Muslims, and feeding the homeless.
ماه مبارک رمضان کدام علائم خاص نداره یا نشانه خاص نداره که هر کس میتونه که ما بگه که ما روزه گرفتیم. مگر روزه گرفتن باید خاص از برای رضای خداوند باشه که این نیست که مثلا بعضی کسا روزه میگیره میگه باش که لاغر شوم، وزن ببازم. نه، داخل هیچ ثواب نمیشین اگر نیت کنین که ما روزه میگیرم خاص از برای رضای خداوند تعالی، شما ثواب زیادتر میگیرین. اگر روزه را به خاطر وزن کم کردن میگیرین هیچ ثواب نمیبرین. و هر کس میتونه که بگوید که ما روزه دارم و روزه گرفتیم، چون روزه کدام نشان خاص نداره. مگم وقتی که اگر میخواین که داخل ثواب شوین باید اول روزه که میگیرین در قدم اول باید نیت کنین که به چی نیت شما روزه میگیرین و بعدن این شرایط را که بر شما گفته میشه ادا کنین یا انجام بدین که تایی که ثواب بیشتر و بیشتر از طرف خدای تعالی بگیرین.
Yep, so a few other pointers is that we should encourage each other or actually participate in the Tarawih prayer, which is so important. Some people miss it because they think it's not farz, so they don't take part. And also to mend relationships with those people who we've broken with, either family members, relatives. And also to read the Quran complete the Quran with its meaning. So one is just reading the Quran, which is so easy, but you have to be able to understand what you're reading. And another pointer is you can spend the whole night in prayer for the Almighty. It is also a really good idea that during Ramadan we can be with our families, because in normal days everyone's so busy and they don't see their families, so this is a really good time to get together. And another thing is that we should be kind to each other, make sure that we don't say foul language or shouting on each other. And if someone does that, you can just simply tell them, sorry, I'm fasting. to stop them from that behavior. Some people have a habit of sleeping during the day, so you know they don't feel the hunger or thirst, and then they stay awake all night, which makes them miss all their prayers, and once again they fall asleep and miss their Fajr prayers, so that's not good as well. And going out late at night, this is an opportunity for people to stop going out at night too much, smoking, alcohol, drugs. It's a month that we can all train ourselves for the rest of the year to give up these bad habits. Another bad thing is that people eat excessively during the breaking fast time, and which really, you know, takes away the whole benefit of fasting because you're doing something so unhealthy. And what we should not really be doing is watching too many movies or watching too much television. Instead, we should be putting our time into good use, and we should be able to give charity to those that are in need. And our Muslims should also be aware not to skip fasting without a valid reason, and especially doing it in front of people, because this shows a disrespect to Islam and shamelessness among people as well.
اگر یادآور شوی ستاره جان که چی چیزا باعث میشه که روزه بشکنه؟
Okay, so some of the main things that break fast is eating or drinking intentionally, taking part in marital relations, which you cannot do at all, flowing blood out of your body intentionally, vomiting intentionally, menstruating women, and smoking. But there's so many more things that will actually break your fast. Of course, we'll have to look at that in the future programs. Yep, and another two things that we should not forget to mention is if you're burning incense sticks and then you inhale the smoke, that's going to break your fast. And another thing that's going to actually break your fast is if you accidentally eat or drink. It's fine, you can continue your fast, but if you continue to eat and drink, that's of course going to invalidate your fast as well.
در ماه مبارک رمضان بازم میگیم که این نیست که تنها آدم غذا نخوره و ننوشه. و بعضی صفات خوب دیگه هم به روزه است که بسیار زیاد است که شما شاید معلومات های زیاده داشته باشید. بازم از ستاره جان من میپرسم دیگه چی صفات خوبی است که در ماه مبارک رمضان ما مد نظر بگیریم؟
Okay, so some desirable acts during fasting is to make sure that you have the suhoor, which is so important, and also to delay suhoor up to just before dawn, so you don't have it too early in the night, that you just before dawn, and also to break your fast on time, not delaying your fast, breaking your fast as well, and to break your fast with dates or water, and also to recite the dua, which is for breaking of your fast.
گرفتن روزه فایده های بسیار زیاده داره. یکی از جمله فایده هایی که چی چیزا را ما استفاده میکنیم و روزه ما نمیشکنه باید معلومات داشته باشیم که حال معلومات بتین ستاره جان که چی چیزایی است که روزه را نمیشکنانه.
Alright, so some of the things that do not break our fast is eating or drinking unintentionally, vomiting unintentionally, oiling the hair, using surma. These are some of the things. Also, what does not break your fast is if you actually use toothpaste or miswak to clean your teeth. But of course, you have to make sure that you don't swallow the toothpaste because that will break your fast. Yep, so we have to make sure that if someone needs to use water or eye drops in their eyes, that will not break your fast. And also another question we had was about perfume. So perfume will not break your fast, but of course women have to make sure they're not wearing perfume when they're outside or going to the mosque, which is going to invalidate your prayer.
دوستان عزیز، ما و شما معلومات حاصل کردیم درباره فایده های ماه مبارک رمضان. حالا می خواهیم بدانیم که چی اشتباهات رخ میده در وقت روزه گرفتن که باید ما و شما متوجه باشیم. اشتباهات چی است؟
Alright, so now we come to some of the mistakes which we Muslims make in our days of fasting in Ramadan. So the first one is sometimes we start our fasting without an intention or the niyyah. So of course we went through that if you do not make the niyyah, your fast is invalidated. And another thing is that people continue to eat at the time of the azan comes for Fajr prayer. So when the azan prayer comes, your suhoor time ends. And if you continue eating after that, once again, your fast is invalid. Okay, so another common mistake that people make is when they don't have their suhoor on time, they either have it too early, that's a mistake, and also people are not paying the zakat or fitr on time. If it passes after the Eid prayer the next morning, it's counted as a normal charity. So another mistake is that some of our Muslims actually break their fast or do the iftar too late, so it has to be done on time. Another thing is that some people recite the unauthentic du'as after fasting, and as we mentioned, the du'a will be on your screen now, and it has to be done after you've eaten, after you've broken your fast, not before. ذهب الظما وبطلت العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. Yep, so another common mistake, as I think we mentioned before, is people eating excessively during the night. And another mistake is that when people are doing itikaf in the mosque or wherever, they start socializing with their friends, they think it's a time to catch up and discuss their everyday lives. But this is a time where you have to just be praying, reading the Quran. Yep, so another common mistake is that they skip Taraweeh prayer, and they're actually missing out on a lot of great rewards as well. Yeah, another common mistake is that our Muslims spend too much of their Ramadan days in unproductive work. Ramadan is set for a special purpose, so we have to only focus on that. So another few common mistakes that people make during the month of Ramadan is backbiting each other, gossiping, looking at bad images on the internet, un-Islamic magazines, listening to music, un-Islamic movies, and of course they're still smoking, drinking, doing drugs. So these are just some of the mistakes that we make, and I think we have to really put a stop to them during this month.
در اواخر ماه مبارک رمضان مسلمانان باید به مردمان بی‌وضاحت زکات و فطر بپردازند. ما حالا میخوایم که زکات چی است و فطر چیست و چی وقت داده میشه. ستاره جان شما معلومات بتین؟
Yeah, so the Zakat al-Fitr is compulsory on every Muslim, and it's a way for us to thank Allah for giving us the opportunity to complete our fasting, and the purpose is to purify us from any indecent acts or speeches, and also to help the needy and the poor. So these views come from the hadith by Sahih Muslim, which reads, Ibn Umar said that Allah's Messenger, peace be upon him, prescribed the payment of Zakat al-Fitr on breaking the fast of Ramadan for people, for every free man or slave, male and female, among the Muslims, 1 sa of dried dates or 1 sa of barley.
باید بدانیم که در ماه مبارک رمضان چی ایام فطر داده شود و چی مقدار.
Yeah, so the Zakat al-Fitr must be given before the Eid prayer. So it can be given in that morning, it can be given during that night, or even sometimes if you really have to, you can give it 1 or 2 days before. But of course, it has to be given before the Eid prayer. If you do it after that, if you give it after Eid prayer, it's counted as a normal charity. So the amount of Zakat al-Fitr which each person in the family have to give is measured as 1 sa, which is about 2.5 kilograms or 2 to 3 kilos of, it can be either grains, oats, raisins, rice, in these things. It cannot be money. So it have to be in the form of food. So those who are hungry and in need, the day of Eid, they can just have a celebration without looking for food. But if you do want to send money to, say, overseas, you have to send the money across to them, but once it gets to the person, it has to be food. It cannot be money. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mentioned in a hadith of Sahih al-Bukhari in book number 24, hadith number 110, of when exactly we should pay the Zakat al-Fitr. The Prophet, peace be upon him, ordered the people to pay Zakat al-Fitr before going to the Eid prayer.
باید بدانیم که ماه مبارک رمضان چند روز است و بعد از سپری شدن ماه مبارک رمضان آیا کدام تجلیل خاص داریم؟
Yep, so the month of Ramadan is around 29 days or 30 days and is concluded with the celebration of Eid al-Fitr, which everybody enjoys. The day begins off with the Eid prayer and then it's followed with friends and families gathering together, giving each other gifts, new clothes, and it's just a celebration.
خب بیننده های عزیز، امیدوار هستم که سوالاتی که شما با ما راجع کرده بودین درباره معلومات درباره ماه مبارک رمضان پاسخهای درست گرفته باشین و امیدوار هستم که خود شما هم در این قسمت ریسرچ کنین یا جستجو کنین که بتانین معلومات های بیشتر و بیشتر براتان حاصل کنین. ما همه قدر تانستیم که تا جایی که امکاناتش بود بر شما معلومات دادیم و همچنان از ستاره جان من حیث یک دختر جوان ما سپاسگزار هستم از طرف همه امی کمیونیتی که من حیث یک دختر جوان روشنفکر و مسلمان تانستی که بعض مشکلاتی که هموطنای ما داشتن، سوالاتی که به ما راجع کرده بودن، خودت تانستی کم و بیش برشان معلومات بدی. ما سپاسگزار هستم از پیش خودت. ممنون و موفقیت های هرچی بیشتر تا در زندگی خواهان هستم.
Thank you very much, and I'd like to also thank you for your time and all our viewers of Sutara TV for tuning in on our Ramadan show. I wish all our viewers and our Muslims all around the world a blessing month of Ramadan, and thank you very much for tuning in, and until next week, Khuda Hafiz.
وطن عشق تو افتخارم، وطن در رهت جان نثارم.